I propose that we'll go as per the order. Thank you, Justice Prasad. Roger, a few minutes you can take, and at the end of it, if there is some time, maybe I will pose some questions, Justice Prasad may pose some questions to all of you and see how you react to it, so that will make it a little more interactive.
Good afternoon, everyone. In Malaysia, we built an app that could tell you if you've been near someone with COVID-19. But what it couldn't do was tell you who owned your data, what law protected it, or how it might be used tomorrow. That's where digital governance meets the rule of law. Digital tools aren't add-ons anymore. They mediate identity, verification, enforcement, licensing, dispute resolution, even surveillance. And here's the problem. When these tools are rolled out before the legal framework is ready, something flips. Instead of the law guiding technology, the technology starts to govern. That's not just a tech issue, it's a constitutional one. Sorry, just trying to get, okay. They can strengthen the rule of law, but only when they stand on solid legal footing. We've seen the benefits. Malaysia's e-kehakiman system, which is an e-filing system, sped up filings and kept hearings running throughout the pandemic. But in parts of Sabah and Sarawak, weak broadband meant that only online courts could be locked out rural communities out of justice. In 2019, fixed broadband penetration in Sabah was just 2.7%, the lowest in the country. Even today, only about 20.9% of premises are connected. Mobile broadband is better at 78.5%, but that still lags far behind the national average of over 127%. We've also seen how digitization can make things faster, like land office applications in Sabah, but a faster decision made without legal authority is still a bad decision. And yes, digital tools can improve oversight through audit trails in procurement and licensing, but storing data isn't enough. True transparency is about the public's right to see and challenge it. Still, in Malaysia, the same legal problems keep showing up. First, there is no legal basis. Too often, systems are launched by policy directive or executive orders, not by legislation. Take the National Digital Identity System. It could transform how we verify identity nationwide, but there's no comprehensive enabling law. That's very risky when rights like privacy, equality, and access to services are on the line. Secondly, weak oversight. Our Personal Data Protection Act doesn't apply to government bodies. This means no independent authority checks how the state collects or uses our data. In practice, accountability disappears. And thirdly, exclusion. Digital systems often assume connectivity and literacy. In the interior of Sabah, those assumptions fall apart. A farmer in parts of interior of Sabah lost his welfare payments when the system moved online. The nearest registration point was 4 hours away, and even there, the connection failed. These aren't abstract problems. They're about whether the state even sees you as part of the system. So what should be done before governments roll out these tools? First, legislation must come before deployment, with clear rules on scope, oversight, and remedies. Secondly, there has to be an independent oversight, a statutory body with power to audit, investigate, and act. Thirdly, we need mandatory published impact assessments covering human rights and data protection. And fourth, inclusion must be a legal obligation, not just a policy aspiration, with language options, offline access, and systems built through consultations. This matters even more in plural legal systems. In Sabah, our native courts resolve customary disputes for indigenous people and are now being digitized. Done right, this can preserve culture and improve fairness. Done wrong, it risks distorting traditions and deepening marginalization. Digitization doesn't erase the obligation to respect legal pluralism. It makes it more urgent. And we can't stop what's in front of us. The next wave will be AI-driven decision-making in welfare eligibility, immigration control, even criminal sentencing. If we don't set the legal boundaries now, these systems will start writing their own rules before we notice. Digital tools are here to stay, but if we care about the rule of law, we cannot let them operate outside it. Every system the state builds must meet the same constitutional standards as any law or public act: legality, transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. Technology should not lead the law. Law must always lead technology, and we must insist on that. Thank you.